Okay, well this morning I'm going to have a go at this. It looks like a Venetian scene here, and rather than do it in acrylic or the watercolour, it would be very nice in watercolour this one, I thought I would use water and pastel, again to show you how we can build up the brightness of pastel. Now remember what I said about pastel, and that is that the final coats must be left untouched. I don't even use fixative. So any previous coats can be block and blended or whatever, but the final coat's very important that it's just left untouched. Now what I'm going to do is put pastel on and put water on it to make the base coats, because I'm working on watercolour paper here. I usually use a hot press paper because it's smooth. I'm using a knot paper today, just because these are quick demos and I don't want to use expensive materials. So I'm just going to use some practice paper and paint the pastel on with water, which will fix it, and then we can put the other coats on top, and that will allow me to make one coat over another nice and freshly and give me a broken colour effect. So I've changed the composition of this picture to make the boats larger and bring the poles, I think, a bit more interestingly into the design. So what I want to do first of all is do a background here. And for that I'm going to use a mid-blue. In fact the background could go right the way through it, but we'll just put it down here for the minute. And I'm going to paint water onto that to make a nice solid, you can just see it through there at the moment, just see my design through, all the way down. And so I'm going to actually work the pastel all the way down as we go on. I shall lose my design for the moment, but you can see how the pastel pigment just melts in, because the pastel is basically pigment in gum arabic. Same as watercolour, but it's a heavier pigment. So I'll bring this all the way down and through. I can still see my drawing just through here at the moment. I shall obviously make it heavier and heavier as I go on. And I can mix colours now into this. Make some lovely effects like this. You can use your fingers and everything. So just a quick study just to show you how we can use pastel in this way. And again, what the whole video is about is the use of the vibrant colours, the use of clear, strong colours. So we'll be able to get our strong colours this way. Another coat of that on there, a bit more pastel, so we're definitely layering it up. It doesn't use that much pastel this way. If we're using a glass paper or something like that, it can use an awful lot of pastel. This is a much cheaper way of doing it. And it's a very rapid way as well. It means I can get the picture done very quickly. Already it's starting to dry. Right, so that gives me, I'm going to deliberately bring some of these marks downwards here because we need the verticals and the horizontals, and when you're painting shiny water like this it's important to have the depth of the water painted first, and then you can put in the horizontals later. Right, there's a base coat, and I need to let that dry before I can start working some other coats up, unless I want to mix colours in. Right, if I wanted to actually mix colours in with that and make it darker, I could do that now, but I won't need to. It's such a quick study of this. I can do a study like this in about 10 minutes actually out there, but then I would use a block and blend method. I'd be working on pastel paper straight onto it directly and blocking up the colours and blending them, not using water at all. Wouldn't have to wait for the water to dry. And in 10 minutes I can do sunset studies as the sun goes down and do 4 or 5. Now to show the versatility of this medium, what I'm going to do now is take some deeper blues, start working those over, and I'm going to actually use the brush with this a bit more. I'll come back with the water now. It's dried off, but I just want to come back in with water and get water effects with this. We'll paint this in quite heavily here in a minute. I'm going to work over these, as I say. This is just to give me an underpainting. I'll just gently blend that down. You see, we can use it just like watercolour. So I'll blend those down in. Here I want to get more effects of reflection and ripples and water into the bases, so I'll start to get some lovely colours running into this already while it's still wet. Like I say, when it dries fixed. Here you can see, look, my fingers are clean and nothing comes off on them. So this is the beauty of using water with it. You can get these effects straight away. So I want to get the depth of water using the the vertical strokes just immediately. We'll do the same here. We'll just gently bring that up into there. We know the boats are going to go through into there, and put the warmth on there in a minute. We'll just soften them in, and I'll bring some of these ripples through, getting the effects of water already. So very, very quick. Right, that's working. Here I want to now get much lighter colours going on. I'm going to go for a fairly light, just scumblings over the surface. Now you see I'm using the paper now to get the broken colour of the sky. So this is all pure colour now. I might do a little bit of blending in just a moment. Just going to, see how that deadens it. I'm just going to deaden it down a fraction and just let the blue only just show through here. I'm going to let that come just over to get the effect of light here, just over the water here like this. Right down through. Getting the shimmering effect of light, especially around here. It's very, very light. And start to build up these light areas coming right down to the boats. A little bit wet here yet, so now I can just start to bring in the light down here, the waves just rippling down through. Such a quick way of working, just across these now, like that. And I'm just blending slightly and I come back over again, let it dry down a bit. I'm going to come back with quite a bright pink and just start to hint a bit of pink into the distance here. Very, very fast way of working, but all pure colour now. And I want some very light pink coming over into the sky, so I'm going to use some of my soft pastels again and just hint across the sky here with a fresh soft pastel. Coming down into that. Comes across here, right through into the water again, and down into, it will just start to reflect through into some of the waves here. I want a bit more cream in the sky, so I'll take this cream now and just start to work it out. So this is broken colour, you can see all the glowing through of the texturing. There are so many ways to do all of this. This is just one way of working. Right along there. A little bit warmer as it comes down. So I'm going to take slightly warmer pink, bring that down to here. Now we're getting the effect of light really glowing through here. It's so quick to do, look. But you wanted to see pure colour. We'll just bring some of that warmth through here. We'll just start to make a few vertical strokes now. Get the feeling of the water more happening down. Little bits of light shining through the water here. A deep green now, and just start to add that into the greys, the distance. So where the light is, it's going to be a bit warmer. Underneath the boats here as well now. Start to, I've got to build the boats up yet. I'm going to blend those down and softly in. You see the sort of feeling, getting the effect of light already. Let's start on the boats themselves. I might need to just use a little bit of water on those. Right, the boats want to be much darker, so they're going to go in with the purple here. Ready purple. And this boat here, right up to here, comes up there to there. Need to draw those in. I want to add a bit more blue to that yet, but we'll just darken them down a fraction. Take my water again. So you can come back with the water at any time you like. And just blend those in, look. Down to here, and there's water in between. Right round. It's ever so simple, this way of working. We can pick that pastel up and drag it down through here. and use the pastel just like paint. Now while it's still wet, I can come into that and darken some of these edges so it's dark against the light. That's onto the wet pastel now, so it's taking it quite well and darkly. Let's bring in some of that dark down here. Come back with my brush again and we'll just blend that softly in. The pastel, when it dries and it's wet, will be lighter than when I put it on and it's wet. So getting the effect of those, let those dry off a bit. While that's drying, I'm going to come back to my lights here and get this lovely area of sunshine in. A very light yellow. It wants to be, let's see, about here. Just soften that in a little and just let it come round to the light. Let this whole colour glow out here. It's coming down here, down and through. Just let it glow from around the boats as well here. Just through the boat slightly. We'll bring those lights in up in a minute. Just glow across everything, the light. And it comes down through there. Back to my white. I'll put that white in the very light colours here. And then some pure white into the front centre. Not easy to do now because we are getting quite a bit of pastel on now. So I've got to put this on quite heavily, quite thickly and leave it alone. And that's going to reflect down here, right down. I'm just making this up from experience and from the past before with actually painting the real things. You see the lovely effect we can get straight away with this. Now we need some of those warms to get some burnt sienna slightly coming into here. Slightly warmer colours into the boats against the light there. All the way through here. Those will be reflecting down to the water as well. So you do keep the vertical marks going as well. It's a bit pinker. Just my deeper pink if I got one. Looking for, yes, there we go, we'll use that pink there just to pick out those boats a little. And I can just blend these back a bit now. I can actually start to just soften things a bit, kill them back a bit. That boat comes right back to that. Maybe it's a bit warmer yet. There's a bit of orange coming into it. Lovely effects we can get, look. Well on the way with this picture now. Of course against the light we've got some buoys here and they're just put inside the boat. I don't want them to be a bit redder, so we'll make those a little bit redder there. Bringing some of this lovely red into it against the light here. A few more bits of reflection coming down into the water to make it seem not just vertical. I'll bring back these very dark, strong, look how quickly I've done this though, that's the point, isn't it? These very dark, strong colours here. And we've got a post coming up through here, right through from here, comes right down through there, behind there, and then reflects down the water, broken. A very strong one that I think is quite interesting, coming right through the whole picture, so it actually breaks up the entire piece of picture here. This is rather fun, unusual composition, right through there. Here I've got another one coming just down to the front of the boat from up here. Change the composition slightly, but it doesn't really matter, we change things as we want. It comes down to there and then into the water and wobbles down through there. Another one behind here. Wobbling down there. We've got another one, a big one over this far side that comes down to the boats here and stops there and then wobbles on down. I need to warm those up because the sun will be hitting them and they'll be a bit lighter and darker in places. Certainly these will have more warmth, especially this one here, which is going to be into the light, so it has to be quite a bit more warmer. We've got some lovely effects of the warmth coming down this one. And our picture's almost done already, look, we've got quite a nice effect of those boats. And coming up there, I've got more warmth against the sun here of these boats, because it's a bit redder here. So they come down, really bring those blues out. Maybe even a tad of black coming down there. I don't usually use black, but I'm going to just bring a bit in here just to give me a bit more foreground, just in and around these bits. Now we can come back and work some lighter colours into it. So if I want some more brighter turquoises or light blues, now's the time to be doing it. Ripples or little areas here under the boats. And that's rather pretty, isn't it, this little scene now, we're getting the idea of it. We'll bring some ripples through here. And do we need to do much more? I don't think so. It just shows you how bright and lovely a picture we can do with just a few colours. Right, quick study then, just to give you an idea of how we can do a very light and colourful scene using water and pastel. And it's the pure colours that are the most important things. So do keep these verticals going as well, little bits of vertical mark in water can just help to give us that feeling of depth and reflection. Red, maybe just as well. Just to brighten up, this is the opposites in the colour circle, the warms against the cool, so I'll just put a little bit more warmth into some of this to make it sing. There we go. And there's those two latest ones.